So it's sneaker release Saturday. We had the Aqua 8s drop this morning from Jordan Brand. Well, matter of fact, let me run that back. We had the highly anticipated Aqua 8s drop today. Now, when it comes to this one, I can't tell you guys too much about the in-store releases as I'm pretty much just sitting here at the house right now. But as far as the online drop, it looks like pretty much just about everywhere. It looks like this sneaker is just about sold out. So congratulations to everybody that was able to secure their pairs. If you did miss out, I would suggest to hold off, as there are probably gonna be some restocks popping up as early as say like tomorrow for the next few months or so, or a few weeks. So it's probably in your best interest to just like follow your favorite sneaker Twitter account for restocks. I find that Kicks Finder seems to be pretty cool. So as far as this shoe, it's not gonna be a review today. You can find hundreds of those flooded all over your YouTube feed. We're not gonna get into the history, as I've touched on that previously, what made this shoe iconic, but today I wanted to kind of talk about what makes these Aqua 8s so popular. Now, when you talk about a shoe like this, which we originally saw drop back in the 90s, I feel like it has Jordan Brand's biggest selling factor, which is nostalgia. It's an OG pair. MJ rocked these on the court during the All-Star game that year, so it has that going for it, the nostalgia. You know, you got the OGs that want to grab these. Number two, it feels like 8s aren't always like overdone too often. Like, it doesn't feel like we get too many Jordan 8 releases, not say like oversaturated models like the Jordan 1, the 3, or even the Jordan 4s, which are probably the most popular Jordan retro model. Feels like 8s aren't always overdone too much, which kind of gives it more of like an exclusivity factor. They kind of stand out among some of the more popular Jordan retros. And then number 3, I feel like the Aqua 8s have always been a streetwear staple. They've survived the 90s, the early 2000s, when you would see people like Kanye rocking these on feet. And even nowadays, I feel like they really translate well into today's like kind of trendy streetwear scene. So these have survived throughout the years, the decades, even dating back to the 90s. So I think all those factors kind of, you know, all come together what made this sneaker such a popular release. And when you take a look at what we've seen so far, at least this year, when we talk about Jordan OGs, we've seen a lot of great releases. Of course, Jordan Brand, they're celebrating the 40th anniversary. So I kind of want to talk about as well where these Aqua 8s stack up amongst the pack of OG retro releases. So of course, we got to start with these Jordan 4 white cements. Right now, Jordan 4, definitely the most popular retro silhouette from Jordan Brand. With the white cements, the classic OG pair, which kind of started it off for that model. What not a great pair for Jordan Brand to make what was rumored to be the most heavily released Jordan retro of the year as far as like the stock. They were saying there was so many of these to go around. You can even still find these for retail. Great job. Popular Jordan retro, classic model, easy to wear. Why not make a whole bunch of pairs of these for everybody to enjoy? You also had the Jordan 5 Grape. Again, another pair dripping in nostalgia, one that was made famous by Will Smith, rocking these on the Fresh Prince, which for the same reason is kind of why I don't like these too much right now. I'm just playing, y'all. That show is goated. Shout out to Will. But when you talk about these 5s, the colors, I would say make this shoe a little bit less wearable. Like, people like to kind of match up their Jordans or whatever. So I feel like they're not going to be as easy to wear as say like a pair of these white cement 4s, but they're still a great retro OG pair as well. Now, next up, we got the Cool Gray 9s, which did drop earlier this year. And for everybody that would say this is not an OG Jordan retro, I understand, but I kind of make the exception for this one, as Nike did produce a run of these while MJ was playing for the Wizards, which he used to rock on court. So we'll kind of give him the pass for that reason right there. So as far as the Cool Gray 9s, I feel like they're just kind of cool, you know what I mean? They also will have nostalgia for the people that watch MJ, as I mentioned, on the Wizards, and when they got kind of dropped, I guess like 10 years ago if you were into Jordans back then. So a little bit of nostalgia there as well. So those are kind of cool or whatever. Of course, we also had your run of Jordan 1s, which will always be a streetwear staple. Maybe not as trendy as they once were, kind of just due to oversaturating. Well, yeah, definitely due to just the fact that there's just like too many Jordan 1s. They just became so popular that for some people, they're just like not popular anymore, if you know what I'm saying. But it doesn't take away the fact that this is a great sneaker, a classic. The 85 Breads dropped this year, which were a lot more scarce. And then, of course, you had the UNC Reimagined ones, which were heavily a lot more available, which that's cool and everything. So one, easier to grab. One, a little more scarce, a little more exclusive. You gotta love it right there. A little bit of variety. I know a lot of people still wanna be able to grab these. And then you got the Flu Game 12s. Now for me, as a kid growing up, like this was like my prime time watching MJ as a kid. To me, he was like a superhero. So I got so many memories of these Flu Game 12s as a kid. Nowadays though, I would say still a streetwear staple, but I guess more so for like the people that be like wearing the matching hats you know, the matching tees, socks and all that, which nothing wrong with that. If that's your style, that's cool and all that. But as far as like a Jordan Retro, which I think translates, you know, for everybody, whatever style you're into, this is kind of like the final boss of OG Jordan Retros. We're talking about these black metallic 5s. Now, you know how the sneaker YouTubers always like to be, these are gonna be a problem. You know, you've heard that phrase before. These were definitely a problem. One that kind of maybe caught people off guard, but like I said, I feel like whatever style you're into, I think everybody loves these. I think they're just so easy to wear, all black. They've got the nostalgia factor, an OG classic Jordan Retro, which is why I think this is probably one of the best Jordan Retros when we're talking about OG releases of the entire year. And when you compare where these Aqua 8s stack up to them black metallic 5s, like just my personal opinion alone, I would say they're right on par with these black metallic 5s, these Aqua 8s, no lie. But if we're gonna have to give the slight edge, it'll probably go to the black metallic 5s just because I think they're easier to wear. Like you might throw them on feet a lot more. And these are the Jordan Retros, which like I literally see everybody rocking. Like these gotta be probably one of the most popular OG Retros. So just some pairs which we stack up. Remember guys, there's a bunch of collabs. There's other Jordan retro releases, new colorways, but I was just kind of comparing these when we talk about OG Jordan Retros. And by the way, I did actually cop, for anybody wondering. So let me know if you guys grabbed these today. Just wanted to kind of touch on what makes this sneaker so popular, why they sold out, and where they stack up when you compare them to other OG Jordan Retro releases, which we've been spoiled in 2025, and still so many other great retros set to come. When you talk about 8s, you got the Bugs Bunnies coming, Fire Red 5, so many more that I can't even think of right off the top of my head, but there's definitely a lot more coming on the way. Oh yeah, Steel 10s, Shadow 10s. So we got a lot to look forward to. Taxi 12s, all that good stuff. So enough rambling. JA tuning in here. Sneaker release Saturday, JA TV. I appreciate you guys if you made it through the end. Drop a like, leave a salute down below. I'll catch y'all next time. Stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out. Love.